All right, let's have some thoughts here. Exclamation, everybody! And welcome to my thoughts on Sandland. As you can see, the credits are rolling. It took me about 48 hours, 49 hours roughly, to make my way through the game. It's been pretty good. It's been pretty darn good. Um, it has a world building and a feel to it that I haven't really gotten in very many other games. It's definitely got it's got a cell shaded, Borderlands like feel. The cutscenes are very. I've had people show up on stream and say that ask me if I was playing Dragon Ball Z or something because the cutscenes are very stylized like that, and the game mechanics are actually pretty good. It's more of an action RPG. So you run around punching things, but more importantly, it leans into this sort of, I guess, kind of a grunge punk, I guess, kind of thing, where there are machinery. There's machinery. There's tanks. There's hover cars, things like that in the world. And as you progress through the game, you get to utilize these tools to a great degree, upgrades, all that stuff, and you have encounters out in the world. There's little mini bosses to take on. There's ruins to go through. It's all very well put together package. Um, that said, it's certainly not perfect. It does suffer from the JRPG story kind of thing. And by that I mean it's hard to get a bead on audience, what age of the audience they were going for. You see this often in particularly in like the Dragon Warrior games, the more modern Dragon Warrior games, especially probably the worst example of it is like Dragon Quest Builders, both 1 and 2. That game, particularly 2, the dialogue is so basic and so chatty and just spends a lot of time saying nothing, that I actually ended up skipping through a lot of it because it was just driving me nuts. You also see a little bit of this in like Zelda, the more modern Zelda games as well, where they just kind of over explain things or they treat the audience like they're dumb. And unfortunately this has some of that. It's not quite as bad as a lot of the examples I put there, but it does sort of give you a bit of whiplash, right? Because it's explaining stuff as though you're a child who's not paying attention, but then it's also got concepts that are actually pretty adult, in nature. So it's kind of one of those narrative whiplash things where you're not quite sure. You want to see the story, but at the same time, it can be frustrating at times how the dialogue progresses. The other frustration with this is, just like any other game, it has a crafting system. Why does it have a crafting system? Don't know. It just does. Unfortunately, it's the clunkiest system I think I've ever seen. There's a lot of menus. You got to go through a little bit of dialogue and then a menu to go to your parts, to upgrade your equipment, to upgrade your vehicles. But then once you try to upgrade to a certain point, you have to have materials. And some of those materials you find, some of those materials you have to craft, quote unquote, really just buy in the workshop. And so a lot of times when you're trying to upgrade something, you'll have to come out of those menus. There's like 3 or 4 menus deep. You have to come all the way up. You can't just exit immediately. And then run out, go to the workshop, grab the stuff you needed, which again, you're buying it from the workshop. It's not in any kind of order. Like the list is in some kind of order, but I can't tell you what kind of order it's in. It's not in any order that makes any sense. You got to find the stuff in the list. You have to buy it. And if you're on PC and you're using the mouse and keyboard, you have to be very careful not to unhighlight what you're doing, because there's a little arrow that says, okay, I want to buy more than one. If you accidentally move off of that thing, it will reset to 1. So you have to stay right on that thing. You have to hit up to 5 or whatever you want. And then you have to move slightly to the left and hold down your click to then buy it, or hold down F to buy it. It's just kind of it's very finicky. And then once you've done that, you have to run back to the vehicle shop, go through a little bit of dialogue, get back into the menus, craft the upgrades. It's as clunky as clunky can be, unfortunately. There's also, again, it feels like they had a checklist of things that are like, oh, this needs this and needs this and needs that. Your workshop also has a house, quote unquote, like an apartment attached to it that you can upgrade and put furniture in, and it serves absolutely zero purpose. Like I bought the upgrades for it. I didn't buy any furniture for it. It's just an empty box, an empty room, and it just there was no point. It was just kind of a weird thing that they just kind of threw in there, I guess, just to check it off the list. The other thing is, it's clear that this game was made for consoles and was ported to PC. Whoever ported this to PC, I gotta say, they've probably never played a PC game ever before, because the default key bindings are the weirdest things ever. Like they kind of got them right. Like, WASD to move, sure. Q to do a special move. However, you have to hold down Q and then you have to hit one of the number keys, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So it's like, okay, I don't have 3 hands. So that's kind of clunky and rough. Now you can rebind stuff, but again, in this game, you pretty much have to rebind everything just to make it, sane. So that's why I'm complaining. I'm complaining because the default bindings make no sense. If you want to do a special move in your vehicle, you have to hold down tab and then you have to hit one of the number keys. It's just very, very clunky there. The menu system. So if you want to go into you access all the menus by hitting escape. So that's your map and your inventory and everything else. Now you would think, okay, it would make sense. I hit escape to come back out of that menu. No, that's not how that works. You have to hit backspace or right click on your mouse, which I think I had to actually bind it to right click on my mouse. I don't think it does it by default. And furthermore, if you're 2 menus deep or 3 menus deep, you can't just right click to completely exit. You have to right click will just take you up 1 menu. So you have to go up 3 menus to get back out to the game. And you have to do that also, as I said, in the upgrades. When you're upgrading your parts, your vehicles, and all that stuff. It's clunky in that regard. That being said, the art style's fantastic.
So rain fell on Sandland for the first time in decades.
Music was great.
Many changes.
Okay, I'm back. We had a little bit of a interlude there at the end, which was really nice. Anyway, yeah, the game's been great. The art style's great. The music's been fantastic. Very catchy. You can hear one of the catchiest tunes here. Um, there is a mechanic in the game that lets you um, sort of make a change to the world. There's a city, a town that you take over, and you kind of can do side quests and stuff to try to build that town up. And it's really cool to see you changing stuff in the world. Um, and I always appreciate that in an RPG when the RPG gives you an opportunity to make some kind of mark on the world, to be like, hey, you've progressed, and here's, stuff has changed. There's also larger changes that actually do happen in the world as you progress through the storyline. So I won't spoil anything with that. But yeah, the game has just been absolutely a joy to play. Um, there's a lot of side quests you could do. There's a lot of repeatable side quests you can do. There's racing in the game as well, which it works. I mean, it's not the greatest thing I've ever done, but it's the racing game I've ever done. But it's decent enough. And there's a lot of stuff to just kind of explore as you're doing things. So um, it's overall, it's a very good game, and I would definitely recommend it. I think for anyone who likes RPGs and wants to kind of dig into it. It's all in Unreal Engine. I believe it's Unreal Engine 5. So it's pretty portable. I've been playing it on Linux. I was also playing it on Windows, so it's, I haven't had any real problems with it. I had one weird crash that actually rebooted my machine, but that was it. Throughout the entire gameplay, it's been solid. So good stuff all around. Definitely recommend it if you like the art style, if you like the kind of the world building. Like I said, it's not the story is good enough. It's not. It's certainly not the Shakespearean sonnet in any stretch of the term, but it gets the job done. And there's a lot of stuff to see in the world. The one more negative thing, though, I will say, you can kind of see it on this map here. Is the map is pretty terrible. And I mean that both from the way it's structured and the way you see it here. So, props to them for, you're in a sand land that's full of sand. So props to them for giving you like landmarks and stuff that actually kind of break up the world a little bit. But in many ways, it feels like the map in from Mirror's Edge 2, where you have these pockets of areas that you have to go to, and there's only one or two actual connections to those areas. Far too often in this game, you'll get a pin that says, okay, your next objective is 300 meters away. But in order to get that, you have to go 3 kilometers out of your way to come back and spin around and come over to it. It's on the other side of a mountain range that you can't traverse. You have to go all the way down, find a bridge, come all the way over, come all the way back. It's towards the end, it got really frustrating because it was, there were things, at the end there where you're going to new areas that you hadn't had access to before, and just trying to, like, you see the pin on the map, but just trying to find that one path that gets you there was such a exercise in frustration. So that is one negative that is, quality of life thing, which is traversing the map is extremely difficult. Even in the late game, when you have a lot of vehicles to do it with, it's still just an exercise in frustration. That's why when you look at this map, there's a lot of pins on here that I haven't explored, because you just get so sick of trying to find that one path that gets you to that place. Even though it looks like it's a completely open world, it's not. And this map doesn't help out very much either. When I can zoom all the way in here, and you can see that there's a path here, right? But if I wanted to get to say this over here, there is no, like, I probably have to go down this way, go all the way around this way. This looks like it actually doesn't go anywhere, so I might have to go all the way down this way and come all the way up. It's just, it's pure insanity and will drive you insane doing it. So that there is fast travel, but you have to get to the place first in order to fast travel to it. And it's that initial getting to a place that just will absolutely drive you insane. And there are points during the main quest where they turn off fast travel temporarily. So yeah, just bearing that in mind as well, that can be a very frustrating thing as well. But overall, I still recommend the game. I still have enjoyed the game, and yeah, this has been Sandland, my friends, and my thoughts on it. So thank you so much for watching. And I hope to see you again in the next video.